Just the throw bags then. Throw bags come in numerous different sizes. They can come, like I said earlier, 18 metres, 20 metres, 25 metres. It depends on your own preferences of what you want to get for your group. The heavier bags obviously are harder to throw, especially when they get wet. The easier bags to throw are going to be the lighter, smaller bags, the 18 metre bags. So obviously if they get wet and stuff, there's not a lot of weight to throw, and it's easier for accuracy. Depends on who you are. Lines come in different diameters as well. They're sometimes obviously they're harder to catch for the casualty. These are thicker lines, this one, and obviously that's in the betweeny one now. Thicker lines tend to be better to catch as well for the casualty when they're sort of in the water and all slippery. Okay, to stow, well, they operate in all different sorts of ways as well. So you've got to undo it, whatever system's there, take out the line, and then if the line comes out, you never want to stuff it back in just any old how, because it'll never come out when you want to deploy it. It's always, like Simon's doing, hold the bag, get your fingers like that, make a system, and you can just do it haphazardly on top of each other. So when it pays out evenly and not in just a big ball. It won't work.
So rather than clumping it all up and shoving it all in at once, you need to pay it in. It stows in a haphazard fashion, but the last bit that I've put in is above one of the earlier bits that I've put in, because I've been putting it in just as one big snake. Whereas if I screw it all up and shove it in, the first bit that I want might have ended up on the bottom, and then it's not going to pay out.
That way, when you go to find it as well, you can find the end and not the end stuffed in the bag somewhere, and there's no chance of finding it if you need it in an emergency. These lines would have green lights on, like we spoke about before as well. So if you see that floating around in the river, it's going to be a piece of kit. And also, if it's got a green light on it, the casualty can see it coming as well, and you can sort of deploy it a little bit better over your casualty, because you can see where it lands as well. There's 3 different throws you can do. You can do an underarm method, which is the preferred way. It's easier on the body, and you just don't stand up and do it. You actually step forward and throw. You've got to make sure your area you're doing it in is going to be safe as well. So you're not stepping into a danger area. You're not going to fall in the water yourself. So possibly about, we're in the 3 metre zone, aren't we? So you'd have all your kit on for us anyway. You'd have your PPE on of some sorts, and you don't want to become in any danger. You don't want to become part of the system either. So the very most I do is grab it over the top. So I grab it like a motorbike handle. So if I need to let go of it or pull it away from me, I can just let go of it. If there's a lot of weight on the line, I never do this. Never ever wrap it around your fingers, because I could be pulled into the water then with my casualty, which is down there waiting.
Doesn't take many wraps round something for it to catch, and you'll just never release that when it's under tension. So that's just tightening around my wrist, and I'm going to be pulled in. So we need to be holding,
so you can release it.
Let go at any time.
Like I said, they're all different lengths as well. So if Simon falls in, I could pull Simon out of my 1 arm length, which is about 1 metre, isn't it? But this gives me 15 metres, so that's the benefit of it. There's a few disadvantages if you get tangled up, but the benefit outweighs the disadvantages really. So I've got a 15 metre arm now that I can throw to someone, and you can reach them. So they're a really, really good tool, but you've got to respect them. You don't want to have loads of it on the floor and get tangled up yourself and then be part of the system. So line management's got to be right on the nail. There's a way, if you deploy the line, you can rethrow. You just get half a metre each side, and that also gives you a nice system to pick up with and walk around with, rather than all being thrown all over the place. And you can also throw that end as well, rather than this end. So if they were a short distance away from you, you can throw your loose end out. Yeah, so the three different methods of throwing are underhand. You can go, so that's the preferred method. You can just step forwards and throw it forwards. If you've got a banker or something in front of you, you've got railings in front of you, you can try the overhand method, okay, like a rugby throw. And then also you can say with the sidearm as well, throw the sidearm. So there's the three different methods. This one is not very accurate because you've got to let go at the right time. So you point towards your casualty, and where you go line, 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 and where your hand is, this is where you release this, I could say ball then, that's my rugby days, the line. Also, line, 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 point to the casualty, where I go there, that's where I release the bag. Otherwise, if you release too early, it goes down to the floor. If you release too late, obviously, it goes behind you. And then you're the most important person as well in the rescue. I know you've got a casualty in the water, but you've got to look after your own personal safety, which would be where you do the rescue. So you wouldn't be, if this was the water there, you wouldn't be on the edge, Paul's flying past us, and we tried to chuck him a bag. You'd make sure you stand back. You'd have somewhere to walk to as well, like we said with the belay. We can just walk down with the casualty and not be in any danger. So, just gone over the moves, and it would be good to, well, we'll just do a demo actually. So I've got I'll get some out, overhand it. So you're swimming, mate? So I'm looking at him, I go, casualty, casualty, Paul, grab this line. And I throw the line, it goes over the top of him. Lie on your back and I'll pull you in. That moment, I've sat down. No, not putting you yet. Go out. That's it, mate. So there's some tension on the line, yeah? If Paul goes downstream a little bit more, and I don't like it, like if I'm really in danger of being entrapped and stuff, I can let go. I don't want to do that, because that's then 18 metres of line he's got, and it's going to be entrapped in something somewhere, for sure. So, I've got my man. Put the line on your shoulder, sir. Okay, go downstream, and I let him go until I think, well, I can start pulling him in. I can walk downstream, and I can keep pulling him in as we're walking downstream until he comes in. And then if Simon, where are you, Simon? You're a vector on that thing?
Yeah.
Simon could get out of my line close to me and walk down, and he could put a vector on there as well, so we're all backing each other up. Simon also could get behind me as you're out in the flow, mate. And if I'm a bit, a bit shaky, he can hold me, and we can both do it together, so I'm not pulled in, so we've got extra weight. I can also belay the line around me, that way round. So if I do happen to be on my own, pull it tight. Yep, and the fluid's taking you. I've got the line round me for body belay. I sit down into the line. If I think I'm going to get pulled in, I can let go. But I don't want to be around this way where I can be pulled in. So it's going to be around your waist. And again, I can pull in. You're still walking down, mate? Still, sorry, mate. Still going down, and I can still do this motion and walk in and pull them in. Okay, mate? Also, you've missed with the first throw. Your lines, you can get your line back in. So the re-throw is just like that. It's got to be properly done as it gets tangled up. And then you can just throw that end to the casualty. And then, really, if I did that end as well with a re-throw, and you go down, mate. Go down. I've got two lines still, because I could still pick up that end if I've missed it with that one.
So the idea here, just to be clear, the reason that Paul is coming around in an arc, he's walking here, but that is what would happen in the water, because the water is flowing. Remember, Water's coming from upstream, it is headed downstream. So that side is river right, because that's my right hand, river left. So as the water's forcing him down this way, because he's held on that line, he will pendulum in, because he's being forced as far away from the line as possible, keeping it taut. And because he's being forced, he ends up coming this way towards us. So it's not, although the way we're doing the demonstration, it looks like he's just walking and it's making it nice and easy for us. That's because of the forces of the water will bring him in that direction just by keeping that line taut.
Some things that can happen, this is why you keep an eye on where you throw the line as well. As a rescuer, you've got to make sure your casualty is going to be clear of any lines. So the way that we've just taught you to do the rethrow, if you just coiled it like that, if you just got a load of it and threw it out, it could go over someone's head like that, and lines being lines, that could end up in that situation, which is a big no-no. So, you know what I mean? So doing that rethrow, that's how we do the rethrow. There's no danger of that happening because it won't coil around somebody's head or their legs. It just pays out and they can do it. But you've got to make sure when you're throwing a line at someone that they're not being entangled in that line. If you just chucked a load of line at them, that would be terrible. That's why we pack it haphazardly. We don't do coils, we do the bunny's ears rethrow. And if it gets around their feet as well, you're going to ask them to try and clear it at their feet, or we try to help them clear it. Otherwise you're out, you've got to let them go with the line or cut the line or something like that. So you just make sure you've got tension on that line, that keeps it nice and taut, and then you just pendulum them in to safety.
You know, keeping safe around the water, don't make yourselves victims. But yeah, the work you do is brilliant to keeping so many people safe and so many people's properties safe. It's fantastic. Thank you very much, everybody.
I think that's what you do to try and make your job less.
Yes.
I like that.
We're not make it worse. We should not make it worse. And not try and do your job, but just try and get everyone prepared. So that,
Fantastic.